it's like Elite Talent, I think it is, Brandon. Is that what the name of the
What
joint?
happens?
Whatever. I think it's Elite Talent Football. Yeah, he's good. He's good. But I definitely when I saw it, hey Sheed, I don't know if this what you saw, but when I saw it, it kind of caught me. I'm like, I hate the one-way narratives. And then I'm looking at my bro Sheed, and she like, yo, I ain't say I'm looking at she like, yo, she like, I ain't even not a fan, but the way you're painting it, we can't paint it like that. But look, let's play this clip right here. I'm gonna open the door. She wants you to take it from there. Everybody, please pay attention to what she has in his background because it's about to get real. You already know it's free game. But go ahead, Brandon, play this clip for me.
So what happens is if you reclass, you sped up your recruiting cycle 1 full year.
Right.
Because guess what? Now you come in.
You mean reclass up, right?
No, reclass
back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You speed your recruiting class and you speed your cycle up 1 year because look, okay. So normally my freshman year, I'm gonna play freshman football because my body isn't ready to play varsity. And then my sophomore year I play varsity because my body is ready. No, I'm coming in already, body ready. So my freshman year, I'm not playing freshman football now. I'm already playing varsity. I'm not starting as a freshman, no, but I'm playing. And then the next year, which normally if I didn't reclass would have been my junior year, I'm a sophomore and I'm starting as a sophomore.
Right.
So now my recruiting, now I'm getting offers as a sophomore. Now my NIL is starting to kick in. So my junior year, I have another good year. I'm done. You see what I'm saying? So like that's the whole thing of reclassing where I tell people like it works. Listen, I didn't agree with reclassing until I moved down here to Georgia.
You muted, dog.
Yep. Like I said, big shout out to Elite Talent. I want people to understand I follow him, right? Good brother. You know what I'm saying? Give me some great information out there. So I don't want nobody to think that because I got this clip from off his page that is like, don't listen to what he's saying. No. And what he's saying, to an extent, is true. Let's understand that. But it's like this reclass thing is a real it's a big thing. Like it's not just a one way to do it. If everybody in the school goes backwards, then who went forward, right? So
well, he said when he got to Georgia.
Well, and I understand
Georgia football different.
Every football everywhere is different, but it's one of those things. So here's my thing. I know I said you was gonna have it right after the video, but obviously I'm talking right. So here's my thing. My life I'm serious. My life is like this. First thing we always got to figure out is what's the goal, right? What's your goal? If your goal is to play in the NFL, well, you know what? You might want to get there younger than older. Okay, because when you get to that part of the game, you could be a running back at 26 years old and they're like you're a has-been. So you don't want to come out of college at 26-year-old because you're doing this reclass shit. So that's the other part of what I'm saying. What your goal is? If the goal is just to get to college, what is that? What you doing, man?
I was raising my hand because that JUCO shit just fucked that up too.
We'll get into that. I got you covered with that. But now the other notion is if the goal is to get to college, and this is the best way to get to the college route for you, okay. But again, his plan, what he did not say in his reclass, was what his plan, what he made his kids do in the off season and the preparation for that. Some people just hear reclass. Trust me when I'm saying this. Some people just hear, oh, hold him back, and he's gonna be a Division I player. Gotcha. And it don't work like that. You have to have a plan. I'm gonna reclass him. We're gonna do this. I'm gonna end up training him, taking the train there. His eating habits are gonna be this. We're gonna make sure that these classes are being taken like this with this much type of priorities in it. Like it's a lot to it. But now I'm gonna step out of there. Do your thing.
Yeah, if I'm along with it, just cut me off because this is
we got 3 hours.
Important.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, this is very important for our kids and parents to understand this. what he's saying is not totally wrong, and I'm not against totally what he's saying.
Right.
Well, the issue that I have with people that have influence is when we don't give information on both sides of the coin.
Right.
Because when you have influence, you're of service. You're a trainer, you're a coach, you're a gentleman like himself. You're of service to the people, to the kids, to mentoring. So when you're of service of somebody, you have to give them information on both sides of the coin, so that way they can make an informed decision based off your information. Now they have all of the information. Now they can go sit down and say, okay, I got the pros, I got the cons, I got both sides of the fence. Now I can make a decision. But when you paint a picture and it's one-sided, that's where I have the issue. Because people that don't know, they just don't know. So we can't blame them. So I have to put the accountability on the people that's giving out the information. So with what he's saying with the reclass, I know a lot of situations, a lot of kids where they actually reclassed and it didn't work out for them. The issue is no one is going to highlight that because it doesn't fit their narrative. The people that's also painting the picture of reclassing, they're not going to highlight the kids that didn't reclass and made it and were successful. So you're only going to paint the picture of the guys that reclass and they got the offers and that sort of thing. So I'm going to give you a scenario. We got two 13-year-olds. One decides to reclass. The other decides to go straight to high school.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest thing with reclass is getting their body and their mental ready. That's what everyone wants to reclass for. Now, if you take this freshman that went straight, this 13-year-old that went straight to high school, guess what he's now learning that the kid that reclass didn't? He's learning how to be a high school student, getting up at 6 o'clock to go to class, be at school at 8 o'clock, get off at 2:10, go to study hall, go to lifting, have film session, learn how to watch film, then go to practice, get off at practice at 7 o'clock, do it again every day for 5 days. Whereas the kid that reclass, he's just going to school out like he's doing, going to practice, just running team, not really watching film or don't know how to watch film. They're just listening to what their coach is telling you. Hey, do this, do that, do that. They don't understand how to watch film. Now let's fast forward a year. That 13-year-old that didn't reclass, now he comes in, he's a sophomore now. The kid that reclass, he's a freshman. They're the same age. Who is ahead of who?
The one that didn't reclass.
From a mental aspect on how to be a high school student. That's the difference. Now, physically, they may be the same. But that kid that didn't reclass, he's already got 1 year in the system. He understands the scheme. So whether they're physically on the same level or not, I still have a one-up on you. Now, on the flip side of that coin, it may come in where that kid that reclass, he may already be in that type of atmosphere. So now he comes in as a freshman, depending on the situation, depending on the position he plays, there's a lot of factors. That kid may come in and be on varsity. So an example of that is a kid that we had that's going to Ohio State, Des Jones. Des Jones did not reclass. Came in as a freshman right after 13U. He started on the freshman level. He dominated. The middle of his freshman season, we moved him to varsity. He ended up starting on varsity. Why? Because our receiving core wasn't that great. So he didn't really have to sit behind somebody, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, looking for the best available.
So he was the best available. He ended up panning out. He's going to Ohio State. We also had a kid. His name was Kumar Howard. He was a reclass kid. When he came in, he still had to play freshman.
Right.
He ended up starting his sophomore year based off of what I had. He was a linebacker. So just imagine if he didn't reclass, now he's already one up in the system the same thing happened for him. He ended up playing as a sophomore. Nothing changed. Now there are examples of kids coming in as a reclass, and they get on varsity right away, and they go. The sky's the limit. I.e., Jalen Burke.
And like you said, depending on what that school need for where you're going. Because you could reclass, go somewhere where they don't need you, and now you got to kind of wait your turn. You go somewhere where they need you, you kind of hitting it out the park. I'm guessing, like we did say, Jalen Berger, a kid with a good plan in his reclass. So that's the other part. That's the key there, Sheet.
And truth be told, he didn't even go to his high school as a receiver.
Right.
Things had to line up for him in order for him to start playing as a freshman at running back because of injuries that happened on varsity. Now, once he got that position, then he took off and did what he did.
Right.
He started playing well. But the ultimate goal is, through all of this, is being prepared to play at the next level. And it's not always talent, as we all know. It's not always how old you are, as we all know. It's those other intangibles that come into play. And a lot of times when people are giving information, they're not talking about the intangibles. They're just giving a broad spectrum on what you should do. And it's reclass. Because I can take that same name, and again, it's hard to do this without singling out guys, and I'm gonna try not to, but that same position of the kid we just talked about wasn't a reclass kid, and he's one of the top running backs in college. The other kid that I named is on his fourth school. So what really worked?
Right.
So we can't just say this worked.
You can't just marry one process.
Exactly. So on my Instagram, I went and I posted all the kids that didn't reclass. 3 of them are in the NFL. One of them is Ronnie Hickman. He's a starting safety for the Cleveland Browns. He came in, his body was ready as a 13-year-old to play varsity, but they didn't need him to.
Right.
He didn't end up playing until his sophomore year, go to Ohio State, play NFL. So it works out both ways. So my advice, or what I'm going to hold influencers accountable to, is make sure you give all the information before we just give out information. Because then you're going to get a guy like me that I'm not going to care about your feelings. That's what GAIN stands for. Guidance above my emotions. That's what GAIN means. So we have to be careful with the information that we're giving these parents and these kids, because we can't blame them because they don't know.
Right.
With guys like him, he does say a lot of great things, but this right here, he got to be careful, because somebody's going to take what he says and run with it and reclass your kid. So
and that's what I was saying.
Right. I'm not against reclassing at all. I've seen it work out for a lot of kids. Right. But you have to have a plan like Dom is talking about, as far as, all right, my kid is 4'11". He's a cornerback. He ain't ready to go to high school. I might have to reclass my kid. Or my kid is not mentally sharp as far as grades. He's got ADHD, whatever he's got. Maybe another year of middle school will help him better prepare himself for high school. But if you're only reclassing for an athletic gain, let me say it again. If you're only reclassing for an athletic gain, then you're already doing it for the wrong reason. Because even at the college level, they really only like older kids at 2 positions: quarterback and offensive line and defensive line. That's where the old guys really are. If you look at all the skill position, it ain't 25-year-olds, it ain't 26-year-olds. They want, those positions are usually quarterback, O-line, and D-line. That's where they get the older guys from. So, for example, I used to coach at a junior college. When we recruited, we wanted old guys on the O-line and the D-line. That's what we wanted. Because, you know, your grown man strength, all that stuff kick in. So if I got a 22-year-old defensive end, he's going to kick that tackle's ass that's only 18 just by natural development, especially if they're on the same talent level. So we got to be careful when we're giving out information. I would just like for guys to start giving out both sides of the fence. Like, hey, your son, he may have to reclass because of this. Now, listen, just because he reclassed, that don't mean he gonna start when he go to high school. He may still have to earn his keep. He got to still learn how their structure is, right? So I want guys to do that when they advise you. So that's just my biggest gripe. I'm not for reclassing. I'm not against reclassing. I'm just against narratives. So I know it's kind of wrong, but
No. Look, I told you in the message, I said we're gonna get into this. So I was giving you the floor to get into this. You know what I mean? And for those who let me say this, that are not new, like norms to our show, she does coach high school football. Very good coach, okay, in the high school football ranks over at DePaul Catholic. Shout out to you, she, on winning another title. But again, he has kids on his team that are reclasses and that I know, and some kids that aren't reclasses that I know, and every situation is different. And that's what I want people to understand that. Again, do you want to reclass your kid? Again, what I said before, what's the goal? If you are reclassing your kid, please make sure you have a plan in place, not just playing little league football for another season and then going to high school, because that's not a plan. You got to have a physical and a mental plan in place for that. Mon Singh, coach at Verona, asks, what if they are born in September and are young 13 or young 13? So I'll say this to that point, the same thing that we said in the beginning. Right. If you see that there's an issue and reclassing can help the issue, address it. If you see that it's not an issue and he's just a young 13, then he just got to get into it. I know a kid right now. I got two kids actually. One of my linebackers, his name is EJ McAdams. His birthday was just November 29th. He just turned 17. He's a senior right now. Okay, just turned 17. So he's going to enter college and probably the whole semester going to be down there going before he turned 18. Going to Marshall, fully committed, set to go. Sometimes, again, there's many different narratives, many different situations.
Got a kid right now in the league. I got a kid in the league right now. His name is CJ Hansen. He plays for the Kansas City Chiefs. His birthday is in September. He didn't even play high school. He didn't even start his high school year until his senior year.
Every situation different.
Exactly. He started his senior year, played at Holy Cross, became a good player. Now he's with the Kansas City Chiefs. His birthday is in September. So every situation is different.
Sheed, you know Sabor Kareem,
same.
Tall kid. I get it. Look like a whole grown man. Boy, only 18. Probably think he might have just turned 19, and going into his second to third year in college right now. So the reclass thing, it's not all the way, like she said, and I totally agree. It's not all the way yes. It's not all the way no. It's if that's your child, figure out the best scenario for your child, and if that fits him to reclass with a plan. If you're not reclassing, then get to high school with a plan. Either way, and these other two gentlemen right here going to let you understand it. You ain't got no plan on body improvement, body health, mental improvement, mental health. It don't matter if you reclass 40 times. It ain't going to matter if you don't have a structured plan and stick to it all the way through. I'm just telling you right now, that's how it goes. Kill, you got the floor.
You're going to have to stop listening. My bad, Akil. You're going to have to stop listening to these youth coaches that just want to fund their 14U program. So they're going to tell you that, Dom, I'm on that this year. I'm not even playing.
Oh, yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure.
Hey, yo, you got to be here with it. Yeah, with it.
This is me because I'm a Catholic school, so we could go out and, recruit certain kids. And I don't care, game. Some of these youth programs going to tell you to keep reclassing just so they can have a 14U program. So for my parents and kids that's listening, if anybody is giving you information and it's one-sided, then that's not the information you should be taking. That's not the advice you should be taking because it's one-sided. So a lot of these youth programs, they try to fund. We need our 14U, so you should reclass.
Mm-hmm.
Come on now, how is that helping your kid? That's helping them because they got a 14U program.
Or you got a 14-year-old freshman who getting varsity time, and but then in the spring playing tackle for somebody's
Yup,
14.
we see
Oh,
that all the time.
The
spring
fuck is you
tackle.
doing?
Yeah, I saw that too happen before.
Shit, we got kids out here that's playing JV and playing a 14U.
I know a sophomore kid right now. He's playing 13U.
Shit, crazy.
But let me touch on
Play on Thursday and Saturday. Shit.
Let me touch on the reclassing point, because everything y'all said is right. Right. Of course, there's always two sides. If the training if you're not working on the training, if you reclass and you're not training, you're not working on that mental stuff, it's not going to work. Right. But with this new information we got about the JUCOs, it's even more prevalent now that the seniors in high school is competing for spots with these JUCO kids now, even more so than they were before, because now they got their full eligibility. So I do think that reclassing is going to become even bigger than it has been, just for the simple fact that now they're fighting for those same spots. If you're trying to go to school right out of high school, what you think about that though? Would you agree with that?
Yeah, it's because of all the rules that the NCAA is doing. It's making people go in that direction, And I know B mentioned the junior college thing. So for me, the reason why they were doing that with the junior college, and it goes to your point, Akil, is why people are reclassing, is now in junior college was dying because of the portal. So what became more popular now is the prep schools.
Right.
All the prep schools became popular now because now you can get that extra year. You can get that extra year without losing any eligibility. So now with the portal and prep school, junior college is dead. Now the issue that they're running in is now the portal is overloaded. So now where are you going to send these kids? So now you have to incentivize junior college again. All right, y'all could go play junior college and it won't affect your eligibility. The reason is, in my opinion, is because the portal is overloaded. You can't send those kids back to prep school. They're already in college. So where are you going to send them? Yo, y'all go back to JUCO. It won't affect your eligibility. Now, so if you ain't got nothing on the table, you still playing college ball. It don't affect your eligibility. And now that's another form of reclassing for you. So it's a trickle-down effect.
I actually, when they came out with it, I didn't like it at all, to be honest with you.
Nah.
If they would have said you get 1 free year, I'd have been like, okay. But 2, it's just too much. Because let's say you get a kid that reclasses before high school, and then they go JUCO, and they're in JUCO for 2 years, and then they go to college and they red shirt, and then they medical shirt. You're gonna be 27, potentially playing somebody that's 17, and I just like that. That shit is crazy to me.
And
so
look,
just think about it. Let's say if a kid reclass in middle school, so now he going to high school, 15 years old. It don't pan out how it want to. He graduates, he's what, 19, 18, 19. Then he goes to a prep school year. Now he's 20, 21. It don't pan out. He go to JUCO for 2 years. Now he's 23, and he still hasn't had any college eligibility yet. So now you got another 6 years.
6 years, so 29.
So now you 29.
It's crazy. It's too much.
It's a trickle down effect.
And let's say this. All of that time that she was saying, ain't no NIL money in that. Like, I want people to get this stuff through their head. Just because you're going to college don't mean you get NIL. All right, let's throw that right out the window.
Yep.
Just because you're going to the junior college, they're saying 2 years, you got to graduate. So some of you guys are going to go in there with 2, but she know it's going to take you 3 to get up out of that thing because you ain't doing your grades. So you ain't do your work because it's the reason why you here. You feel me? So in the junior college, it sounds good, but it's a dog world in there. So, for them guys thinking that, I just go to junior college and you was just okay in high school, probably not the spot for you. Probably not. Because just to throw it into perspective, and I know it's going to be a big one that I'm throwing out there, but I need to say his name. It's guys like Cam Newton that was in junior college. It's guys like, I think Tyreek Hill, took the junior college route. My homeboy, Rasul Douglas, took the junior college route. It's real live dogs in there, man.
It's a different ball game.
Different work. And if anybody hasn't seen an interview with Richard Sherman and my boy Rasul Douglas, check it out. He'll give you a bit of that insight of what he went through when he was at Nassau Community College. 6 guys in one apartment, and we don't kind of know where the food coming from, how this shit gonna work out. Like, trust me.
I used to have kids eating out the garbage can.
Support system has to be up a million taking that route. All right. Now, I know people probably saying what Coffeeville looked like down in Texas. The facilities all built up. That's cool. But some of y'all not gonna go to Coffeeville. All right. Some of y'all gonna go to some other places.
Yeah, they're gonna take a bounce back. That's what they call it in juniors. They're gonna take a bounce back who probably has his degree already as far as his associates, but it ain't working out. So now he's 22 years old and he coming to JUCO. He's 23, 24 with kids. He ain't got time to play no 18-year-old games.
And then it's like, and some parents will ask some questions. I say, well, what's the plan? Your son at best is a D2. Your son at best is a D2 player. You gonna go to JUCO, waste 2 years for what?
Coach, it's D1 a bust, coach. What you talking about?
D1 a bust. That's
the
what they be
promotion.
spitting.
That's another narrative about it. It's D1 a bust, coach. What you talking about?
Yeah, because everybody got to go D1. But this is what I will say about that whole situation of this, what they talking about with the junior college thing, right? So I'm with you, Kill. I'm really not on the fact that if I'm at Rutgers as a freshman and you at Lackawanna as a freshman, my clock start, your shit don't start. I ain't feeling that. So I don't like that shit. All right. So as far as the eligibility part, I don't like that. The part I do like, and this is because I've been getting it from a couple of my coaching buddies around, a lot of people go, well, with the rosters being cut down, with allowing more guys to get eligibility through this junior college thing, the high school guys, it's going to be harder for them to go to that next level. I say this. Hope I don't get turned off on this one, but it is what it is. A lot of guys don't belong in the Division I level. Just being honest. Some guys